Well, hello everyone. My name is Freda Johnson. I'm the instructor for Beginning Conversational French 101. Welcome, and I really appreciate your taking your time to see what I've been doing with Blackboard. Today I would like to give you a brief overview of my site. Starting with the course overview, we have objectives for students. We talk about their interests, family, and friends. And we take a virtual trip to Paris, choose an apartment, shop, and sightsee. We learn about French cuisine and restaurants and utilize internet language communication programs. Um, Part of my design is it's called partial flipped class, which means that the students will do a lot of work outside of class for preparation. And when we come to class, we will practice. And I sometimes introduce concepts in class and sometimes outside of class. And this instructional materials I use are basically mashups that I make as well as YouTube videos. And I also make YouTube videos as well. Today I'm going to show you a few things from my Blackboard site, including a sample of the syllabus, weekly schedule, a couple of assignments my students have accomplished, and the journal that they have worked on as well. This is a view of what students would see. Again, we do have announcements, syllabus, the weekly schedule, a list of assignments, and they can actually go to them outside the weekly schedule. They take their tests and exams online, and they can check their grades, and there is a journal entry as well. So let's take a look at the syllabus. Students will click here to go to their syllabus, and I've given them other resources online that they can use with their textbook, which is free for them. So if we go to the syllabus, this is what they will see. I won't show the whole syllabus, just portions. Again, here's the site where they can click to go directly to the audio files for their textbook, and they can practice. Again, I have a course description, expected outcomes, and the course policies. I have the grading scale, and my course is weighted, so they realize that coming to class is very important. Assignments and the chapter test, as well as the final. And you have two parts to the final. You have a written online, and the oral, they will sit with me, and we will go over, basically, we'll go over everything they've done with their visitation to Paris and talk about their families. Okay, right here is a skeleton of the course itself, goes week by week, and they can, of course, be expanded when they go to the actual site. So here's what that site looks like. We go week by week, and today I'd like to just show you samples from week 2 and week 3. Okay, in week 2, in class we work on numbers, which includes time. We have weather expressions. Book work, of course, is written here. Nationalities with flags and colors. And finally, here's their assignment number 2, which they will click and will take them to a site that comes from Clear, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. This is called a video Dropbox, which means that after once they look at the questions and compose their answer, they can record their voice, and I will receive that with a photo of them, a picture of them actually. And before that, I will give them a practice. So now this is where they will go. It's called Clear Site. So let's go there. Again, this is what the site looks like, and what I've done is given them a practice, so let's just listen for a bit. Practice for self-introduction. How do you say my name is? Je m'appelle. How do you say I am? Je suis. Well, how would you say, for example, a man? How would a man say I am an American? Je suis américain. So you see, after they've listened to my practice site, some may not actually need to listen to it. Then they can concentrate on just answering the questions. And once they finish, they can record their voice. So again, here's the site where they were working, and here's what I get to see after they've sent their recording to me.
Salut, je m'appelle Randy, je suis américain, je suis marié et j'habite à Brooklyn. Au revoir.
Here's a second student.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Courtney, je suis américain, je suis célibataire et j'habite à Milan.
And of course, once I grade the students, I will record their grades on Blackboard, and I can actually send these I can send these clippings to them to put in a portfolio for further use if they'd like to have them. Okay, let's go to week 3. And week 3, again, we're not only concentrating on numbers, but we're entering the realm of visiting hotels in Paris and eventually choosing a real apartment in Paris. And so at this point, they'll need to know a little bit about visitation, like sites that they can visit. So if they go to this site, this is a arrondissement, would be neighborhoods of Paris. So this is what it would look like. And here we'll work on places to visit, like the Sacré-Cœur, or perhaps they might want to go to the Louvre, Notre Dame. And we'll work on numbers, cardinal and ordinal numbers as well. They can choose which neighborhood they'd like to live in, as well as where they want to, sites they'd like to visit. Okay, a next thing I'd like to show is an example of what you call an audio drop box. And this is their assignment number 3. It's called Quelle chambre? And I'll play just a little bit of the introduction.
Activité 4. Quelle chambre? Quelle surprise!
A. You are part of a tour group that has stopped for the night at the Hôtel de Noailles in Montpellier. You offer to help when the tour director calls out the names of the group members and tells them their room assignments. Use the checkoff column on the list in your lab manual to mark each name that the tour director calls. Note that not all of the people on the list will be staying at this hotel.
So this is what I would consider a comprehension activity as well as a speaking activity. So they will have to listen as many times as they need, decide which hotel guests will be selected, and write the room numbers down. And after this, they can print this and hand it to me in class, or they can handwrite it and turn it in. That's the first part of the assignment. The second part will deal with them actually recording their understanding by choosing the members' names and giving me the room numbers, and I give them an example. Like this says, Monsieur et Madame Dupont sont dans la chambre numéro 22. And let's take a look. So once they have recorded their voices, I will again receive it, and let's see what this sounds like. Okay, that's pretty low, but anyway, I think you get the idea and the concept. And again, after I listen, I will grade the student, and I can send comments, and they can also keep a sample of this to see their progress. And the final entry I'd like to talk about is the journal. This is a very nice tool to use. Here they're going to talk about their family, and I give them the instructions as well as the rubric that to be graded. And they also have the ability to copy accent marks directly and just use those as they type. And now here's a sample of one of my students' entries. Notice if it's in blue, that meant that I corrected their work, and there was just a slight error they were having. However, if it's major or if there are like grammar problems, then I would, of course, correct that in red. So the student did beautifully in this case. And I do use Google Docs for a survey that I give them at the beginning of the class, at the beginning of the course. And with this survey, it's very important because I can find out their interest and what they expect to learn from class, as well as their likes and dislikes. And I can use this to group them as well. And I use Microsoft Word documents, as well as the Blackboard test option and the journal, which I've already shown you. And the tools that I have basically been using come from a site called CLEAR, the Center for Language Education and Research. This is a government-sponsored Title IV funding, and it is free to all foreign language teachers in the whole United States, free. So I would like to encourage any foreign language instructor to contact the center. It's located at Michigan State University in East Lansing, and I'm sure they'd be happy to share more information with you about that. But with them, the tools I've been using are called IRA. You've seen the audio tool and you've seen the video. So this comes to the conclusion of my presentation. I'd like to give a big thank you to the Washtenaw Community College administration, who gives us support, to the instructional technology staff, and especially to Susan Dentel, who is encouraging us all to learn from each other and share, and to all the courageous instructors who work tirelessly to help our students learn. Thank you so much.